Hi, I'm Hannah. Thanks for watching. Today I'm sharing a roundup of 10 DK weight sock patterns. If we haven't met before, I'm Hannah. I'm a mom and a knitter, and I live in North Carolina with my husband and son. I occasionally design children's knitwear patterns, and I love to talk about what I'm making on YouTube. Today I'm sharing a roundup. I've only done one other roundup video. It was a shawl pattern roundup because I'm not a shawl knitter and I'd like to be. And today I have a similar roundup video for you. I am sharing DK weight socks. I'm not a DK weight sock knitter and I would like to be. So basically this was inspired because I want to make a pair of socks for a dear friend of mine, but Christmas is pretty close now, and for me to gift them to her, I don't know that I could make her fingering weight socks. And so I was like, okay, I want to do DK weight socks. I don't know anything about them and I need to learn. So I have made a lot of socks as a knitter. Last year I made 12 pairs of socks, one each month, and they were all fingering weight. And some of them were gifts, sample knits, things like that. But I haven't made a DK weight pair before. And so I asked my close friends list, like, where do I even start with sock yarn for DK weight socks? Because a lot of patterns I see just say DK weight sock yarn. So I got a lot of recommendations for sock yarn, and then I started looking into patterns. So I have just been scrolling like Instagram and Ravelry for sock patterns for a very long time. Like I have spent hours just like looking and looking, like things to look for, sizing, the preferred heel turn, things like that, texture, gauge. I'm finding that they're all just very different. So this is me sharing with you 10 of my favorite DK weight sock patterns that I have come across in my searching. Okay, first, before I share all the patterns, I'll show you the yarn I'm planning to use for my friends. So the most recommended yarn I got, besides just holding fingering weight double, was Sandler yarn Perfect. So this is a super wash wool, and let's see, it's 80% wool, 20% nylon. It's 100 meters. So I have this color, and I don't know the name of it. And I have this sort of yellow gold color, and I have white, because I was not sure what I wanted to do for my friend, but I wanted to have all of the colors here. So I think these would look nice together. Not sure yet which pattern I'm going to choose, but I'll share them with you and maybe you can help me decide. Okay, so the first one, she actually messaged me when I posted about like what sock yarn do I use. I think she might be the queen of DK weight socks. I don't know though, because I haven't knit her patterns. That's the only reason I can't confirm. But based on all the things she told me, she seems to be like incredibly knowledgeable and also generous with her knowledge about DK weight socks. But these are by Hannah Sandler of Sandmade Knits, and the first pair is the Wandering Socks pattern. One thing I love about DK weight socks is they look so cozy. This is so appealing to me. They look comfy, like I'm just lounging, watching a movie in bed with my super comfy cabled socks on. But a lot of the really popular, like comfortable sock patterns only have one size. I'm sure you've seen them. Just the really popular ones like Saari Nordland, Petite Knit, a lot of those only have one size. And I don't know about you, but my feet are not the same size as anyone that I know. And so maybe they're more forgiving, but it's just really hard for me to fathom like how this would work out for one size fits all socks. So all of these patterns that I share will have more than one size. That was a deal breaker for including them in this roundup, because I just don't like, I don't know how that works. So for Hannah's socks, these are the Wandering Socks, cozy DK weight with simple and repetitive cable pattern. These look so warm and cozy. I actually do have this pattern already because she gifted it to me from a test knit. And so anyway, she uses a US 3. All of these socks use different size needles, which is confusing to me because like finger weight socks generally use like a US 1, right? Or 1.5, I don't know. Anyway, so she has 4 sizes, 7, 8, 9, 10 inches. That makes sense in my head. But she sells her patterns on Etsy. So if you want to see these, they're not in my roundup that I've included below. These are on Etsy, so I link them separately. She does not sell her patterns on Ravelry. They're just on Etsy. So that's something to note. But yeah, they look so gorgeous and the reviews are wonderful. I like seeing them on Instagram. I think these might be a winner. I feel like they would look so pretty in this color. But also they could be like this classic white, like just, you know, very aesthetic sock. But I don't want my friend to be concerned about like getting them dirty, so white may not be the best for her. That might be like a contrast color option. I'm including 2 others in this one because they're all by Hannah. But she also has Sugar Cookie Socks pattern, which is a DK weight sock pattern that has more cables. And then she also has the Peekaboo Sock Collection. So it's a collection of playful and warm socks that use squishy and cozy half fisherman's rib and DK or worsted weight yarn. The color peeks through the socks, hence peekaboo. It contains 6 sock patterns in like the collection. That's $9, so that's pretty amazing. And all of these have those 4 sizes like the previous one, and they also use US 3 needles. So that is my first recommendation. Again, these are separate than the Ravelry bundle. Okay, the next DK weight sock pattern I have for you is Morrison by Jenny Blumenstein. This search has brought me to a lot of new designers that I don't normally see, but this is another one of the cable, cozy, warm, sort of like Scandinavian looking design. It has 3 sizes to fit 8, 9, and 10 inches. Yeah, she says it's a unisex sock intended to provide comfort and style for everyone. The recommended yarn is Arbor by Brooklyn Tweed. I don't know if that's discontinued or just Peary, but I do love Brooklyn Tweed Arbor. It's 100% wool. I think I might have some in my yarn pantry, so maybe I'll make these for myself. It uses a US 4 needle though, so that's a lot larger than, well, it's a 3.5 millimeters. It's not a lot larger, but I just love the cables down the side of the sock. Most people use a solid color yarn for this sock, but I've noticed a lot of DK weight socks are like very scrappy because people hold fingering weight together, so I do have some of those coming up. But a lot of people use this yarn for this sock, so that is always appealing to me when I have the recommended yarn for a project that I have not done before. Okay, my third pattern is the Boreal slippers by Lindsey Fowler. These look so cozy and cute. They are intended to be like a boot sock sort of slipper. She describes them as a pillowy soft wool, makes a lovely pair of thick socks or slippers that are light and next to skin soft. They have a lovely folded cuff and perfect for wearing alone or with your boots. I really like the fold over cuff. They just look warm, comfy. You could wear them around the house. Just a simple texture with that twisted rib. Just looks nice. US 3, which is cool. It's the same as some of the other ones. And then she has 3 different sizes, 7, 8, 9 inches. So it seems like most people include 7 to 10, somewhere in that range, 7, 8, 9, or 10. Some people only do 8 to 10. Some people do 7 to 9. It's just really not standard, which is weird to me. It's hard for me to understand. I don't know. Socks seem like they should be such a good fit. Like a sweater is like, oh, it's a little oversized, that's okay. But socks feel like if they're oversized, they fall off your foot, right? I don't know. For how many socks I've made, I don't know. I feel like I still don't really understand them. Okay, I'm back. My son just woke up from his nap, so he's hanging out with me. What do you think about sock videos?
Good.
I love you.
Mommy?
Yes, honey.
That happened to yourself.
Yeah, like this?
Yep.
Is there anything you want to say?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, that's okay. So the next pair of socks that I have is the Breathwater socks, also by Lindsey Fowler. These are from her Salt and Timber Knits from the Northern Coast book. This book is so beautiful. I have had my eye on this book for a long time. I feel like everything in it is cozy and warm, and I feel like if it's raining, I could wear anything in there and just be instantly comfortable and cozy. So these socks, actually she recommends fingering and fingering together to make DK weight. She uses a US 3 needle, and she has the 4 sizes, 7, 8, 9, 10 inches. And then varied foot length. So she includes yardage for all of those, which is nice. So I feel like these socks have just the right amount of texture if you want to like actually wear them a lot with your shoes. Sometimes I see people say DK weight socks are better for just like comfy, cozy kinds of things. And then fingering weight are better if you just want to wear them out and about. So I feel like these bridge that kind of well because there's not too much texture where it would like end up being uncomfortable in your shoe. In the winter, I wear like my heavy, like Doc Marten sort of boots. And so I could see how it would not be comfortable if I had like really thick socks in there with them. Okay, my next sock, I love this partly because of the name, but also it's a beautiful sock. It's called An Ode to October sock by Opie. And it is a unique cable DK weight sock. It has 3 sizes, 7.5 inches, 9 inches, and 10.5 inches. It's a little different than the ones we've seen so far, but that's okay. She also includes like recommended shoe sizes, which is helpful as well. But she uses a 2.5 US 2.5 3mm needle, also a little different than what we've seen. She recommends a DK weight yarn. And then, yeah, it's super gorgeous. I'm gonna read the description. It says, when October comes around, I want cozy socks and warm colors. These cable socks are an ode to October and the feeling of the season. They're speedy knit with simple cables and a textured heel flap. Sounds great to me. I love October. But yeah, I was just looking through like the project pictures and they're all really beautiful, and I love the colors they've chosen. Again, lots of like one colored socks and less scrappy socks because I feel like the cables don't really lend themselves well to scrappy colors. Okay, let's see what's next. We have the Grand Staff by Maddie from 52 Weeks of Easy Knits from Line Magazine. The recommended yarn for this is Coop Knits Socks Yeah DK. I don't know this yarn, I've never used it, but this was also probably the second most recommended yarn to me besides the Tuscarora Perfect. So a lot of people recommended that. This is a US 2.5 needle, 3mm needle, and it has 3 sizes, but the sizes are for 6.75 inches, 8 inches, and 9.25 inches. Also different than what we've seen. But I really, really like the texture on these, and it says it's a very easy texture. I don't really know how that works. It looks sort of difficult to me, but it's very cute and it looks comfy. I like the stripes, so if I did stripes for my friend, I don't know, I think I would probably do like the white and the pink because that looks very cute. So yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna do this one, but I like the stripes. They're cute and unique, but not like color work ish. Next, we have the Everyday Socks by Tin Can Knits. If you don't know Tin Can Knits, I'm sure you do know Tin Can Knits, but they just have it all pretty much. They have an app too. I haven't seen it, but a lot of people use it, I guess. So they have DK weight socks, but they also include worsted weight and fingering weight sock like patterns in this one pattern, I guess. So they have newborn, baby, toddler, child, adult, small, medium, and large. And then they have the foot like circumference as well. So for the adults, they have 8, 8 3/4, 9.5, 10.5. But they have like 2 different rib. So you can do maybe, what does that look like? 2x2 and 1x1 rib. And then there's cute little pom-poms on the back of them. So that's cute. But I like these for an alternative to like that double rib sock that's kind of everywhere but probably only has one size. These everyday socks have lots of sizes and they look comfy, cozy, and simple in the 2x2 rib. So I like that. Okay, the next pair of socks is the Saari socks. And the designer's first name is Maria. I don't want to mess up her last name, so I'm not going to pronounce it. But they're in English and Finnish, and she has 9 sizes for this, so you could match your little one. And it goes from about 6 inches to almost 10 inches, so that's awesome. And it's DK weight. She recommends a Finnish wool with tencel, which I do like using tencel in my socks. I've done that for some of my fingering weight socks, and I really like tinsel in there, but this is what I have. And honestly, I'm realizing I'm gonna have enough for like maybe 2 or 3 pairs, so maybe I'm gonna keep one for myself. But I like how these have different options to use the colors. So some of them have the cuff in a different color, heel in a different color, toe, or you just do the 1 color version. But I really like the 3 colored version because I have 3 colors and I feel like it would be cute to use them all in one sock. The little ribbed section that then has like a garter stripe before the sock is cute. I don't see that a lot, but it's like a simple detail that I feel like is really effective. And then the seed stitch is cute. These look like cozy, simple mid-calf socks, and wow, maybe I need these. Very, very cute. Next, we have house socks. So the next 2, I think, have like a similar heel look, and I'm maybe looking for your feedback because I know a lot of people have made this one and the next pattern I'm going to talk about, but this uses Pearl Soho Morning. It's a DK weight yarn, 2 and 2.5 size needles, and it has 3 sizes, 7 1/4, 8.5, and 9.5 inches. It says it can stretch up to 2 inches. So I guess maybe with the stretch, it doesn't matter quite as much what size you make. But these are by Fiona Alice, and they're for Pearl Soho. So what I like about these is the ribbing, and I often feel like ribbing is really good. Like an all over rib is good for socks because it does address that like doesn't fit quite right. It fits a little better because there's ribbing on it. And this has a cute little texture up at the top. Kind of looks like mountains or trees. What I want to talk about is the heel in this because it doesn't really have like a traditional heel. I don't know what this is called. Where it doesn't have like a, I mean it looks like maybe that's a gusset and flap, but in a lot of socks that I see, it has like a very pronounced, like this is the heel right here and it's separate. And I'm interested in like, what does this feel like on my foot? I don't generally think I'm super particular about how my knits feel on, but I do feel like I'm more particular about my socks. The next one, I know many of you know, and chances are somebody watching this has made it because there's 1,500 projects on Ravelry. It's the Bear Paw Socks by Andrea Mowry. These are mid-calf. She recommends fingering held double for DK weight. US 4 needles, and she has 11 sizes, so everyone can wear them. 4.5 inches up to 9.5 inches unstretched, so everybody could wear them. But it has the yardage for both fingering and DK weight. She recommends a merino and yak blend for her sock yarn, but also in silk. Yes, and silk. Also gives a lot of options for yarn substitution. So I clicked on the yarn substitutions to see, and she offers like fingering weight that you can hold double, and then also DK weight that you could use. So I'm familiar with a lot of these. She says for fingering weight, Knit Pig Stroll, Malabrigo Sock, Regia Merino. Oh, they have a Merino yak. Okay. And then the DK weight, Cascade Yarns, Cherub DK, Knit Pig's Gloss DK, Roco Renew. I don't know those yarns. So lots of different options. I like that she's sharing the alternatives because the original yarn is not in my like personal budget, but I do feel like I do feel like it's really pretty with the yarn she used because it's marled in the original sample. Sorry, I was getting really into the pictures. So this definitely looks like a good one for scrappy projects or for one color, but definitely for your variegated yarns to shine. So I feel like I'm seeing, when I looked through the project page, I saw a lot more hand-dyed yarn in a DK weight that people were using for these socks, or their hand-dyed yarn scraps because they could use them up and make a beautiful marled sock. So this is what I don't understand. The Bear Paw socks and the House socks by Fiona Alice both have that similar heel. And I'm looking on here and it says Fleagle heel is the only thing I'm seeing. So is that just what a Fleagle heel is, where there's not quite, because it looks like the rib goes on your heel. So does that feel funny on your heel if you have a 2x2 rib underneath your foot? I don't know. Maybe I need to make them and see. But these are like high up on my list, and it has sizes for everyone. So my son could have a size, I could have a size, I can make pair for my husband. That is also appealing because then I only have to buy one pattern. A lot of the sock patterns that I've seen, they will not fit my husband because he has such large feet. So if I wanted to make him socks, I would have to buy a few different patterns. I'm not against that because I know like buying patterns is wonderful, especially for smaller designers. When someone buys my patterns, it's a wonderful feeling and I'm excited to see what they make. So I'm not against like buying multiple patterns, but it is nice when like all three of us could use this one pattern. But yeah, I feel like there's probably some of you that have made this pattern. So please let me know if you have, and is this a Flegel heel? Because I'm more of a classic heel, like either afterthought or just a heel flap and gusset. That's all I really do. And if it doesn't recommend it, I usually modify it to include one of those because that's what fits my foot well. So I need to know what this is. But the US 4 needles is also appealing because it feels like that will go really quickly. Yeah, so please let me know if you've made that. Okay friends, I am to the last pattern that I want to share with you. This one is everywhere. I follow Bethany from Woolberry Fiber Co. She always talks about this one. The Thick Mist socks, and then also Thicksgiving socks by Summerly Design Co. Thick Mist socks is one for the whole family. So I love that it includes 4 inches all the way to 10 inches. And she has 2 different patterns inside. She has Thick Mist Vanilla and Thick Mist Reverse and Thick Mist Cabled. So it's 3. That's cool. Okay, so she recommends this as a quick, squishy, colorful knit designed with stash busting in mind. Holding 2 strands of fingering weight yarn together, these socks knit up quick, making them perfect for gift-giving season. So that's what I'm looking for, gift-giving. But I think also in the future, this would be nice because I do have a lot of yarn in my yarn pantry that's not enough to make fingering weight socks, but it would be enough to make DK weight socks if I held it together with something else. So I love that. Most of these projects and her sample pictures are all like marled or stash busting sort of things. I'm seeing some in the project page that are striped and I like that as well. But then the Thicksgiving socks only has adult sizes, which is fine, that's okay. It's just appealing when it has all of the sizes because then all 3 of the people in my family could have socks from the same pattern. But this one, 2 out of 3 is not so bad if my husband and I could both have a pair. But she has vanilla, cabled, and ribbed. And I really like the combo of the ribbed and the cabled in the same pattern because those are kind of what I'm gravitating towards anyway in my socks. With the DK weight is the rib for that sort of forgiving nature of did I get the size right, at least for like the circumference. And then I like the cable for that like comfy, cozy, hanging out in bed, watching movies sort of vibe for my friend as well. So I am really tempted by these because I've knit her patterns before. It's sort of a classic Summerly Design Co. pattern where she has lots of different modifications or personalizations that she includes, and she includes a lot of tutorials in her patterns. So yeah, I've knit like maybe 3 or 4 different ones from her and I've been really happy with the fit, and the actual patterns are lovely as well. So I kind of think I really like this one. I'm not sure, but again, the Thicksgiving also recommend as sort of a scrap busting project, and there's over 1,000 projects on here. So a lot of people like this project. So maybe there's someone watching that has knit these as well. Let me know if you have. Honestly, for any of them, let me know if you've knit them. I'd love to hear about your experience with them, or just with DK weight socks in general, because as I said, this is something that's new to me and I'm just sharing these patterns because these are ones that I just kept coming across or were recommended to me by my followers or knitting friends. I would love to hear about your experiences. I hope you have a lovely weekend and happy knitting. I will be casting these on this weekend and hopefully I will have some projects to share with you in my next project update. Happy knitting.